Welcome to the cloud, place where we talk to people who are ferociously chasing their dreams, but also living them as well too. Today we have a special guest. Her name's Ashley Slim Stevenson. What's up?
What's up, bitch?
How you doing? Good to see
you.
you.
I'm good.
Dang, all the way from the Shy? You came all the way from the Shy?
Man, well, I'm like originally from the Shy, but no, I just did an Ohio thing.
Did Ohio
yeah,
thing?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So it wasn't that bad of a drive.
Couple years, yeah.
Couple years you've been in Ohio?
Yeah, about
Okay.
2-3 years,
Right.
but yeah.
Sounds good, man.
No complaints, right?
I'm interested in you because you are a great artist, man. And
Thank you.
You're an artist that's unique in its own way, meaning that it's not really the glitz and glamour. It looks like it's more from the heart and the passion. And from you doing something you love, you've gained notoriety and some success. So I think, if anything, if I'm talking to people chasing their dreams and living them, I think you're definitely one of those people. To start off, let's talk about the beginnings of Slim, though. Where you from originally?
Northwest Illinois. So it was pretty much maybe about a 20-25 minute drive from the city.
Okay.
Most of my family was from like the west side and stuff like that. So we'd come out every now and again. Once I got a little bit older, I kind of did my own thing. I moved out and I was on the south side, the west side for a little while. I was in the Pilsen area, so just kind of touched base all around the areas of Chicago.
That's what's up. So when you talked about your family, you describe your family dynamics. So your siblings, how many brothers and sisters you got, things like that.
Well, let's see. I got one brother now.
Okay.
Yeah. He lives up in like Bloomington, Illinois.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like into like the social work and all that good stuff.
That's what's up.
I did have a sister, but she passed maybe about like maybe 13, 14 years ago.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's okay. It's like she's in a better place, so
Okay.
it's all good. But I learned a lot from both of them. That's the only siblings that I really have. I do have actually a half brother. I really don't see him often. But he is my brother. I got a lot of aunties, uncles,
we all
man.
do.
Yeah, you know how
we
that
all got a
goes.
lot of them. That is a
So,
fact, Slim. That is a fact.
So
how, mother and father, what were they like? How were they for you? Your mother and father?
They're very musically inclined.
That's what's up.
Man, my mom was in the choir. My dad played guitar. So my mom, my dad was real laid back. He might have taught me a little here and there, but he's like, she got it. She'll get it. But my mom, my goodness, since I was like 2-3 years old, like she was like, sing. I don't care how many hours it was, but like I didn't appreciate it back then, but I do now.
That's what's up. So I wanted to ask a question because we also, as it pertains to your where you're from as well too. When you hear of the city of Chicago, you always hear the bad things, right? You hear Chirac, or you hear that there's always killings and things of that nature. But I experienced it to be a place that has good experience as well too. Beautiful black people that live there, that lived there for a very long time. And I just want you to talk to me from your perspective as a child growing up in Chicago, but some of the good things that you've seen.
Man, the first thing I gotta say, man, is like Lake Michigan. Like you go on the lake shore, like I don't care what problem you have, like it's finna be in that water. You know what I mean? Like and then you can reflect on that. You know what I mean? But otherwise, there's a lot of different things to see. Millennium Park and stuff. And as a kid, I mean, it looks so much bigger. But even as a tourist, it might even look even bigger than that. So but I think where it really counts is. Somebody once told me, like, you never really know what city you're visiting or what city you're in until you really have a conversation with, like, the poorest person there. Because it's easy to get out what you see, but I mean, to really live it firsthand, at the bottom of the pole and to gain some sort of deeper understanding about life and its beauty. Like, I have been in that situation. So in a way, I see it in that same light, but there's always somebody else that's going through something even more so. So if they could gain some sort of humility and honor from that, then why can't I?
For sure. For sure. That's a good. I always talk to guests about these pivotal years, right? You're a child, so a lot of the times you, especially coming from what I hear as a middle class family from Chicago, you know what I'm saying? You, for the most part, listen to your parents. You know what I mean? They usually dictate your life. But then you hit about them high school years where you start trying to make your own decisions.
Of course.
Can you talk about like at what moments or some pivotal moments that were like turns for you to be like, you know what, I'm going to do this, or what some struggles that were for you as well too? I don't think it's talked about a lot.
Man, I think we obviously all face some sort of struggles, whether it's internal or external. I think they're always both, But I think the most important thing is just to remember that no matter what you're going through, there's always like a ray of silver lining somewhere. So one of my struggles were, let's see, I went to American Idol. Like when I first left high school, I was literally going to go to a community college and everything, but they were in Philadelphia, which was kind of close to where I was. Really quick decision. I said, you know what? I'm finna try to follow my dreams. So went out there. It was just a complete, just not at all what I had expected. And of course, coming out, it was very naive because you think it's like, here's a dream, all you have to do it, but it's really not like that. So I got a glimpse of something that I mean, I felt like I wasn't ready for at the time, but obviously looking back, I had to go through that. So it really got me down. It did for a while. But then I kind of, picked up the guitar again. And then the really profound thing is actually one summer I was facing some time, actually. When I was younger, I had made some decisions that weren't altogether.
As we all have.
I mean, if I could think in the long run, then obviously, but when you're a child, you really don't face the consequences in the same light until you face those consequences, unless you are lucky enough and smart enough to take heed from other people's experiences. So I was out one summer and I knew I was facing some time. So that's when I started street performing, actually. And it was just really like an anchor and also like a safety, a little lifeboat for me, because even when I went in, I had to serve about 1.5 years. And when I came back out, I already knew that whole time I was in there what my plan was. Even if I made $1 a day or 10 cents a day, like at least I was earning and I was doing what I love to do.
Exactly.
So that was enough for me to realize that whatever struggle I may be facing, I could transmute that into something else if I could look at it in the right manner.
Definitely, man. And I think that's powerful for you to even discuss that and understand that as well too. But I think you brought me right into my next question, which would be, can you recall your first sound, song, or experience that just you fell in love with? Like what made you just, when I hear that and this gonna be my love for probably the rest of my life?
I can't look back and think of like any one song in particular, but I mean, there are plenty of songs where it just hits you in a way where you just like, damn, man, you know what I mean? Like you feel it. It's not just paper or something that you're listening through some sort of sound system. Like you're literally feeling it. Like you're like becoming part of it, and it's like becoming part of you. It's really crazy and powerful, but I can't even begin to explain it, so I won't even try no more. But
so let me rephrase the question. I'll ask it this way. Hey, I feel you, man. Listen, but here we go.
Oh, man.
If you could pick, what type of music was in the house? What did you listen to a lot?
Gosh,
I know your
man.
mother was in the choir, so you heard gospel music, I could assume.
Oh,
but like, what other artists, what kind of music were you listening to?
I actually grew up with a lot of Christian music. It was a lot of gospel music. It was a lot of Christian music. It was a little Al Green here and there, but mostly just that until I was like maybe in 5th and 6th grade. Then, you start getting junior high, and then you start kind of doing your own thing away from your parents a little bit more, and you get different influences. So then I started listening to like alternative rock. I was like, what? Like, it was just something about it. And I had watched a couple movies, and those soundtracks and the movies bring it out. It's a visualization with the sound, so it just brings it to a whole nother level, man. So
one of my biggest things I wish I could ever do is play an instrument. I can't play an instrument a lick. I can't play an accordion, if it could, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't do it.
That's okay.
Couldn't do nothing, right? But I just love the sound of them and how they, and the skill it takes to play an instrument.
Yeah.
You said your dad played guitar, but he wasn't really pressing on you to do so. Was it, you think it was just in you to choose a guitar, or is that the only instrument that you play?
Yes, yeah. I mean, I'll fidget on the keyboard a little bit, but it ain't nothing to where I can even proclaim like that. No, that'll bring shame to the instrument itself, man. But it's just simply just guitar.
So you just felt the guitar because your dad was doing it all the time. It was just something that you just picked up.
It's weird because as much as I watched him, I thought it was impressive. I was like, okay, cool, that's kind of cool. I might like to learn that. But through the years, you may like see like a song, or like even I went to a ski retreat one year and I got to see a live concert. It was a Christian band, but man, they snapped. They really did. They had a lot of stage presence, and that's when it kind of clicked in. Like, oh my God, man, maybe I kind of want to perform this. Like, because when you're younger and your parents telling you to do it, you're like, I don't think so. But then once that seed grows within you, and you're just like, oh my God, this actually is what I want to do.
Exactly. So let me ask, so with that said, So you're kind of self-taught. You kind of felt the instrument yourself. But at what point do you remember? At what point you were like, I got this down. Like I want other people to hear me play this instrument, and I'm going to show out my talents. Do you remember like what moment you felt like I got it?
I mean, honestly, it was maybe about 6 months before I had like a little video going around, kind of circulating here and there. And like before that, I really didn't have much online. Like I really didn't have much of a presence. Like little here, little there through people video recording through the tunnels, but
Yeah.
nothing like that. But I started kind of putting myself out there a little bit. You
Yeah.
know, actually a friend of mine was like, "Hey man, come on, like just put yourself out there." But I'm all like, "No, you know, I'm good. I
Yeah.
wanted to reach whoever it's supposed to, but I didn't realize maybe that's the foundation in which I should do so." So that's after I actually seen the response of that video. Like that's when it was really, really like, wow, it's not just what I love to
Yeah.
do. Like some of these people are really feeling it.
Feeling it.
So it really, yeah.
Exactly how you said. I think music to me, like I said when I listened to you earlier, chills every time I hear your voice, and I think that's what
Thank
music is about. I always tell people, I think music is the first language and maybe the universal language for everybody, right?
Yeah.
You hear sounds of baby dances before he could talk. He doesn't even know what they're saying.
I swear.
But I think that's the power of music. You know what I mean? You could touch somebody from so far away just by using your voice, which is what you know what I'm saying, whatever higher power you believe in gave you. And just doing what you love to do as well too.
Yeah.
But you kind of got me looking at it because now you're confident now. So do you recall the first time others like heard you play, sing, anything of that nature?
Talent shows.
Talent
like,
shows?
Yeah, like I started when I was in about third grade. So like I got a little response, but I'm like, they just being nice. You know what I mean? I mean, really, like it took me years.
Yeah.
I was so nervous that I even had like a nervous like gulp. So like when
Yeah.
I start singing, I'm like, and that, like
Yeah.
throughout the whole entire song. But it's like I still pushed through, and it's like I still seen people were like, you know, I'm just like, wow. So it's like, okay, maybe I can overcome this and do better for myself and for them as well. You know what I mean?
It's crazy because I always wondered when I talk to artists, especially artists that just continuously do what they do, like from the heart, and not necessarily looking for the glitz and glamour. How would you as an artist tell aspiring artists to get through that moment, the moment of stage fright, the moment of being in front of a crowd for the first time and having that confidence to just go in and give what you feel?
You know, it is literally a matter of believing in yourself. And it's not like oh, I believe in myself all the way, no doubt. Like, no, you're going to have doubt. You're going to have some insecurities. People may say things that you may already be insecure about, or maybe something that you weren't and now you are. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's not about that. It's about, like I say, like higher power. Like I do believe if God has a door open for you, and if God has a destiny or a gift for you to nurture and to give to the world, then that is your responsibility to do so. And I fall short of that often, and that's okay, but it's about picking yourself up and trying to take advantage and maximize your opportunity to possibly help relate or connect to somebody else. And it's important. And I didn't realize that when I was younger. I'm just like, I just want to do what I love to do, and then I want to get out, man. You know, social anxiety is real. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
You ain't
But
lying.
sometimes it don't mean that you should stop. It means that you have to keep pressing forward to grow. Growing is an uncomfortable thing sometimes, but it is a necessary and it's a beautiful thing once you see what it turns into.
I like that. It's very
Thank you.
powerful.
Thank you.
I always wanted to ask this question. So I know it's mistaken that African Americans usually don't get into alternative rock or the type of rock that you do, right? But it's a mistake because if you think about the early artists in the 60s and things of that nature, it was rock and roll. They were playing the guitar, the Jimi Hendrix, the things of that nature, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
it is necessarily in us to have rock and roll or any type of music. I think
course.
we've mastered all types of music. But with that
course.
being said, nowadays stereotypes are out there. Have you ever received any negative feedback from like, dang, this black girl thinks she can sing this song, and then you come out and has it ever occurred?
Oh my goodness, Lord have mercy. There have been so many different.
Say it. You're fine.
Okay, well, look, it's like, it's not, you may think it's like, oh yeah, it's just maybe one particular nationality, you know, or race that may not appreciate me covering this song, right?
Yes.
But it's like generalizing like that, even if it may be a particular race or maybe even 10% in that race, that does not dictate a race as a whole. Because I've had, black people being
That's
like,
that's kind of
"Ooh,
what I'm
like
asking.
what you doing? Like why you?" Even at a young age, even
Yeah.
some of the people I could have been related to or something like that, like they kind of be like, okay, you know what I mean? And then sometimes you may get the other maybe Caucasians or Hispanics, because it's not just country, like a black person's doing country, sure, I'll do some reggaeton, I'll do a little
Yeah.
Spanglish, like whatever it is. So I think you're gonna get like criticism from wherever you go, but that's not important. What's important is obviously how you feel within yourself, but what has a lot to do with that are the people that support you and that nurture that and help you believe in yourself. You know what I mean? Because I've had some dark days like everybody else where you may be like, dang man, I just don't know. And especially in this craft of being an artist, sometimes not being able to financially sustain yourself as well as you may hope to. You know what I mean? So, but the tunnels, even if I made $1 a day, I was still content and happy with that because I know a blessing was coming my way, even if it was in the form of words or encouragement or something else. So like that's what I try to remember, even on my most brokest day.
To live like that to live like that is powerful in itself, especially when you talk about this day and age when everybody's main focus is the dollar and how much of the dollar they get. I asked that question and I say that statement also because explain the importance of an artist to be as resilient as you are.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean? To know that they're gonna go out every day, right? And do their passion and just know that that something's gonna come to them. You have to be a certain strong person to go and do that on a day in and day out basis. And not think about the everyday stresses that I guess the rest of the world around you is. You got people coming by you on the train stressing to get to their 9 to 5. You over here living your best life, singing to people and getting money, right?
Yeah.
Everybody that walks by you probably wishes that they had the resilience that you had or wishes that they had the power to be like, I'm gonna bet on myself no matter what that looks like for a few years, right?
Yeah.
So how important is the word resilience to you, and how important is it to artists if you have anything to say to them about being that resilient?
I used to think resilience was like being like firm in obviously what you believe in, especially in your convictions. But that gets kind of misconstrued with judgments and criticism. So you really got to be careful about that, even when it comes to yourself. But ultimately, resilience to me means no matter how much you may fall down, you try to pick yourself up no matter how long it may take. So it may be some people a day they get back up like, oh, whatever. Some people it takes a year, man. Some people they don't ever get back up. And that's what's scary, how easy it is to not get back up. So I also used to think resilience was like, oh, no, you know what? I'm doing this for the rest of my life. Because it's been about three years since I've even been in that subway tunnel. You know what I mean? And I feel like a part of me is gone. But I think it was meant to happen. Like the coronavirus happened, and that really, really changed a lot for a lot of people, including myself. So believe me, I've worked cement. I've worked, carpentry. I've door dashing. Like, so I used to think that like, no, it don't matter. Like, I'm just gonna keep doing music, and even if it doesn't have the same revenue, like when I moved out to Cincinnati, their street performance scene is a lot different. I couldn't make a living off that anymore. You know what I mean? So I thought for a while I betrayed myself. I felt empty, like I felt like, man, because now I became those people in that revolving door of survival, of the 9 to 5. But you know what? I realized there ain't no shame in that.
None at all.
But you have got to keep your eye on the prize. That's what's important. I used to be like, nah, I'll betray myself if I, this, that, and the third. Like, it's not about that. It's about keeping firm in what you believe in and not letting your dream die within you and fade away through trying to survive in life, through trying to get food for the day or gas for the day. Like it may be what I realized is, and I've accepted, it may be a constant issue for me until the day that I die. I didn't want that for my life, but if that's what happens, if that's what has to happen for me to do what I love to do, then I will. I'm going to find the balance. I haven't yet. But even being here right now, bro, I promise you, is a blessing because gigs, I don't do them as much as I want to and as much as I was able to. You know what I mean? So to be able to to be here right now is like really, really, really profound to me.
Definitely. I think you brought me right to where I'm about to go. Most of the time you hear two words:
Okay.
musician, performance.
Okay.
Immediately the mind goes to stage, lights, auditoriums, right?
Right?
However, you chose a different stage
Yeah.
to exhibit your craft. Explain the power in and the why you chose to give music to people on the street.
I think in a way, those are the people that need it most in that moment. Like, I don't care if you're in the subway tunnel, I don't care if you're in a castle or a mansion. Like, I think we all need music.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can all relate to something. But it's something about feeling like like there's nothing else to lose. You may feel like you have nothing else to lose, but like, don't you dare think that you have nothing else to gain.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it may not be obviously in the financial aspect. You may get lucky sometimes, but you got bills and then you go back down to where you were. So if it's constantly based off of how much I'm making or this and that, then you're always going to be disappointed. You know, now look, it's important. I've had gigs where I really had to chase people. You know what I mean? Like, but it ain't about that. Like, if some shows you do for free if you're able to. I mean, this even with what they're doing here at this Auburn Theater, they're a nonprofit organization. Like, they've been doing this for years. It really put into perspective for me, because as much as I remember seeing it firsthand is necessary. So to see these people doing all these great things with nothing, it's like the story of the bread and how it's not enough bread with Jesus, but then it's like you feed a multitude. I feel like it's the same way with music and with love and with sharing, even if it's not much. You always have enough to share.
I like that. So give me one of your most valuable moments on the
Okay.
street. Somebody that it could have been somebody that was the poorest guy on the block that you just had one of the most powerful conversations with or a powerful situation with. Can you explain or give me one powerful moment from street performing that you think is just always stuck with you?
Man, oh man. There are like so many that I literally can't even think of one, but I mean, I could think of so many, but let's see, being a street performer, you meet a lot of people in life, whether rich or poor. You meet billionaires, you meet people that ain't got not even 2 cents to their name. But, I met this one guy, and he literally was like, he had like bottles on his feet and everything like that. And it's nothing that he said in particular. It was just how he lived his life. Like, he would literally walk with them on his feet. Like, he would never take them off. So it was like an instrument. He used it as an instrument. You know what I mean? So like,
Wow.
it was just a matter, like, you see different people's reactions. Some people are like, oh, and then some people are like, oh, wow. But it's not necessarily their reactions. It's just the vibrations that you get out of his spirit. To no matter what it may look like or what they may look like, there's power within you.
That's what's up. You've been doing this thing that you love to do.
Yeah.
Somebody comes by, backs out a camera on you. We all got cameras,
I know.
right? So social media and the effect of social media is very powerful.
It is.
In the social media era, things blow up quickly, you know what I mean, and can touch the masses with a click of a button.
True.
And from what I hear, you've made quite an effect on the social media world. Explain to me when the first time you saw how many views you got on your Fleetwood Mac, what that felt like, and explain that experience.
Man, I was literally sleeping on my friend's couch. Like, really just going through some things, but like making the best out of life. Like, you could be content with barely anything if you're blessed enough to look at it that way. But long story short, I was sleeping on the couch. Then one of my friends came up. They're like, "Oh my gosh, bro, man, look what happened." And I'm just like, what? So I'm looking,
Yeah.
out of all the bad things that could happen, I'm just like, oh Lord, what happened, man? So then I see my video, and I'm just like confused, because I'm just like, I don't know I didn't record myself until later in the game, really. I may have had somebody record here and there, but I was confused that I was like, oh snap, wow, I'm kind of looking at myself like I'm not even myself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So It was insane. It was something that I didn't even expect, obviously, at all, because it was this guy actually recording me. I didn't even know he was recording me at that moment. So I thought it was like cool to kind of see myself like just in the zone, you know what I mean? So it meant a lot to me, like to see so many people like feel some type of way about it. Be like, man, you know, like that really touched me, man. Like, you know, I'm just like wow. So
That's what's up.
you know what I mean? It meant a lot to me. It did.
Did you ever have like regulars that always came by, always seen you while you were, or did you ever perform? You performed in the same spot for that time that you were doing like the train and stuff?
It was like a few different spots that you could choose from. So sometimes I was primarily at Washington Blue Line.
Okay.
But sometimes I'd be at Jackson Blue Line, Jackson Red Line, Washington Red Line.
Oh, so you
Lake, Grand. So it
didn't matter.
It
for
really
sure.
didn't matter to me.
Social media kicks off.
Right.
Now you open up your own YouTube channel. I've looked at that. Beautiful work, good covers.
Thank you.
I wanted to know, where is it that you specifically record at? That concrete wall. Does it give you a better sound when you're singing? Do you?
Yes, it's actually an abandoned parking lot.
Wow.
Parking garage. So it's just something about the way the music and sound kind of just bounces off the walls.
Yeah.
It's not as much as the tunnels, like how I'm used to, but I tried to find something, you know, with a little more echo that can.
So we know you do covers, and you cover the hell out of them songs. Original music. What's your creative process in that?
Oh man, it's anything from, sometimes I might write an idea down or something. Sometimes I might watch a movie, and it may be something that they said, and I just may just ponder upon that. You know what I mean? And just kind of reflect upon that, and just kind of come up with other things derived from that as inspiration. But it's never like a concrete process. I never have like a format or anything, although it can be helpful, which is cool. You know what I mean? But I'm always like kind of word for word. It's never just word, line, sentence. It's like sentence all the way down there, then I'm filling it in with this, and then I may have a whole paragraph. So it's not contained.
It wouldn't be a creative process if it was contained, right?
You're right.
I think creativity is put out there to be subjective, but also put out there to be raw in its truest form. However you choose to express that as well too, and I think you do that very well. I call it the cloud, like I said, because I'm talking to people who are ferociously chasing their dreams and also living them as well too. With that said, the cloud is also something that a lot of our pictures live in, a lot of our information live in as well too. Here we like to end the show with our guests giving the audience something, a word of inspiration, a word of encouragement that they can leave in the cloud. And when they come back and watch this, whether it's down the line or tomorrow, they're gonna be like, that's what stuck with me, right?
Oh man.
And then after that, we're gonna have to hear you sang, not sing. Sang. S-A-N-G. Sang. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
You got me,
sang.
but can you please leave something for the people that you can leave in the cloud?
I would say that no matter what the circumstances may look like, you can always find strength and beauty in every situation. So I would say to face whatever you're going through head on, because you're stronger than you think.
And that'll be it. That's a wrap. But like I said, it's time to hear Miss Slim sing. You hear me? All right, man. Take us out.
All right, cool.
Tea's gone cold, I'm wondering why I get out of bed at all. Morning rain clouds up my window, I can't see it all. Even if I could, it would all be great. Your picture on my wall, it reminds me that it's not so bad, not so bad. Drank too much last night, got feels too bad. My head just feels in pain. Misty blossom, they'll be held to death. Late for work again. Even if I'm there, they'll all imply might not last a day. And you got me, and it's not so bad, not so bad, bad. Not so bad. white and black folk intervene. Remember the scene Martin Luther King used to bring? How was it right that we have to fight just to unite? Nobody listens to the message till I step to the mic. Nobody thought that I could make rhyme about hate crime. Standing in front of a building holding up my protest sign. You don't just go get blind. Forget the past, so I ask. Forgive me for my history. Forgive me for my hard time. Forgive me for my misery. Forgive me for my crime. Never wanna go back to farming. Already was the last in line. Lack of intelligence in slavery time. Ain't no knowledge for black recruiting troops committing crack-filled crime. But what can I say? Struggle they made. Things get harder every day. What do we say without a stage? What do we pay without a wage? Whoever thought the one man could make rules? Telling the whole world to hate Jews? And at the end, he took countless lives, countless children and countless wives. Streets are filled with guns and knives, and it's sad I almost cried when I read Anne Frank. But all she wanted was to live good, but now she can't. I have a dream, we all are the same color, all got the same mother, and almost slain brothers. But I came because of racist game, and in this rain, this blood is filled within this pain. Forget it inside of my brain, dare forget it to go with the same. And I know sometimes it gets hard, I know it's hard to get away. Let out the tears to fly away. Fall asleep to another day. And I know sometimes it gets hard, I know it's hard to get away. Let out the tears to fly away. Fall asleep to another day. When we rise, I think about his demise, fantasize, visualize, and steadily thinking of bluer skies, improvise. Life is kinda like a game, homie, roll the dice. But I hope you'll be surprised if these lies make you cry. Whatever it takes behind the mind of those who strive to survive. Addicted to the streets and only God knows why. Every time I pray for brighter days, the devil's in disguise. Things you gotta do to try to stay alive. Stay alive. Oh. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, now things will get brighter. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier until that day we fly away.